What's going on?
That's us.
Dan Patrick would say back in the Jock Jam days, welcome to the big show.
Medium-sized, I'd say. But, yeah,
Yes.
It's always a pleasure filling in. 877-996-6369.
All right.
877-99 on Fox, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio.
And right off the jump, we got to let you know we are going to be doing the show live, filling in for the great Dan Patrick at the MLB All-Star Game. Atlanta, Hotlanta, going to be the spot to be. And you can be part of the excitement at Capital One's All-Star Village. Saturday, July 12th and through Tuesday the 15th, you can head to the Cobb Galleria for baseball fun, live entertainment, and interactive games. Buy your tickets now at allstargame.com.
I'm COVINO. That is Rich. CNR on FSR. We're usually on from 2 to 4 on the West, 5 to 7 on the East. You can always find our podcast. Search COVINO and Rich wherever you stream. And let's say good morning to Danny G. What up, Danny G?
What's up, Danny?
He's
Happy
super
Dodger
busy.
Thursday.
Hell yeah, dude. Danny G came floating into the studio because he's so pumped about Kershaw. We're going to be talking about that. Perfect on the ones and twos. Good morning. Good to see you, buddy.
Hi.
But we got a list, Rich, about the All-Star Game. Pretty pumped to be the only show voted into the All-Stars. Thanks, Fox Sports Radio Nation,
by
for all
the
your
fans,
votes.
by
Yeah.
our coworkers, number 9.
Yeah, number 9 from our colleagues, but number 1 from the fans, and we appreciate that.
But I'm
So-
excited to be in Atlanta.
But there's a whole list of superstars that are going to be there, and we're hoping to get some great interviews. So definitely check that out on the, 14th, 15th, and 16th of this month. Happy 3 de Julio, everybody.
Yeah.
We're getting there. It's going to be a fun weekend, and it starts right now.
Before we get into Clayton Kershaw and such a tense moment last night, we're going to talk some NFL today. There's an underrated quarterback that needs his props. Plus, it is 4th of July weekend, and we're going to talk about some of those great blockbuster movies over the years that you love. Like, this is like a big movie weekend. It's also a big weekend for drinking and eating.
And
but
sparklers, man. You got your sparklers ready?
yeah, you know how many
As
people?
a dad, if you don't have your sparklers on standby, you failed, bro.
Do you
Dad
know-
always has to bust out the sparklers and the bank snaps.
Do you know you just added something to my list after work today?
You gotta get 'em.
sparklers.
I mean, that's the bare minimum.
But did you know that every year, 15,000 visits to the emergency? And they're like, oh, sorry, ma'am. And they went to take the coffee, and she goes, what are you going to do with that? And they were going to dump it.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'll give it to my husband.
He don't care about the diabetes.
So the woman gave a look like, okay.
Was her name Agnes Brimley? Any relation to Wilford? Or
No. So
Mrs. Brimley?
I got to ask, when a bartender gets your cocktail wrong or a barista gets your coffee wrong, and it's their fault, should they just tell you, like, yeah, here, take the other one too?
Not only that, they should make the offer, right? If you're going to tip them for doing nothing half the time, and that's nothing against the barista, because I believe baristas and bartenders deserve tips.
Yeah.
But not everybody. But if people are going to have the nerve to charge you for every little thing, they could offer the extra as well. The extra meaning their mistake that they made, or sometimes if you're buying a smoothie, they'll make extras like, hey, give me that extra.
Yeah,
I want that.
Sometimes there'll be extra
You're going to leave that in the
milkshake.
blender and dump it out.
Diners got it right. You ever go to a diner, get a milkshake, and they give you like the metal cup too because there's
Yeah.
extra?
That's just customer service.
Yeah. So I just want to throw it out there because my first instinct was, just let the old lady get the extra coffee.
That's just proper etiquette.
So your instinct is to throw it out instead of saying, hey, you can have this one too?
Well,
Well,
straight
that's
up,
probably corporate, too.
Nah,
Like,
that's
they'll get in
wasteful,
trouble if they
Perfett.
don't throw it out.
I don't care, corporate or not. Wasteful.
Wasteful.
It's wasteful.
No, it is wasteful. It's just it's out of their hands.
Have you ever tried to not be fat when they give you the option of fries or a salad? You go salad, and they still accidentally drop off fries. And then you're like, no, I got the salad. And then when you see them taking the fries
What do you mean you
away
can eat
from
the
you,
fries?
yeah, exactly. What are you going to do with these fries that are now
save 'em.
cold?
I'll save them for when I feel like being fat.
Let me
Or
tell
I'll
you,
give them to
when
my
I went
kid.
when I go through Taco Bell and they accidentally give me someone else's order or like double up the tacos inside, I'm not telling them about that. I'm just taking them home.
You take it. But you gotta, yeah, I think in that case you expect them to give you the extra, not dump it out.
Now,
that's ridiculous.
If it's your bonehead mistake, that might be a little different. But, Covino, let's say you ordered your typical Steve Covino Tito's and soda. And they give you a Tito's and Sprite, and you're like, I think Sprite's sweet. What are they going to dump it? You could say, leave it here. Someone will drink it.
Someone in my party here. I'll give it to somebody else. Yeah. I'll take it to go if I can.
Yeah. So
Give me a little kitty cup.
I just want to throw it out there because I saw old Phyllis like with a little dilemma, like, you're going to dump it?
Especially in a
Wasteful.
world where wasteful's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world. That's just so careless, in my opinion. So make the best of it and let someone enjoy it. Absolutely. I think Phyllis here, what's her name? Barbara? What's her name?
Agnes.
Eleanor? I think the old lady in this story was absolutely right. Take it, bring it home. Don't charge the old lady. Give it to her old husband. Let him have diabetes.
Can I tell you the funniest part of all the names we just mentioned? If you're a young mom or dad, those names are all coming back. And the names from our childhood, like Jennifer, Nicole, Stephanie, those are going to be the old lady names at some point because all those old lady names are the top little girl baby names.
Speak for your name because the name speak for yourself, I should say, because the name Steve's coming back.
Lava.
Thanks to Minecraft. Steve's hot lava chicken, whatever it is.
Your old guy named Steve having a moment in 2025.
Boy. Steve's on a comeback. All right, now, what about the name Clayton?
Oh, I'm sorry. As the announcer said last night in dramatic fashion, Clayton Edward Kershaw. I was like, all right, a bit dramatic, but hey, a very stressful, awesome moment last night in Major League Baseball.
The ravine rises, ready to erupt. 3K for Kershaw!
Got him!
Gotta let it breathe.
Beautiful.
You know how many Vato tears were shed last night?
Oh, my God, yeah.
You know how many hard-ass Vatos were there like, I'm feeling a little emotional right now.
That's my guy.
That's my guy. Is Fernando, then Clayton Edward.
So, last night.
Beautiful moment.
It was
Last
cool
night.
to see his family in attendance
Dude,
celebrating.
Bro,
so cool.
Danny, I got to give you my first observation as a Mets fan living on the West Coast. Watching that Dodgers moment. Props to not only the Dodgers, but Major League Baseball, and Kershaw already alluded to it, letting the moment breathe. Because so many times these awesome milestones are rushed along. And I remember when the clock was first put in baseball a couple years ago, the pitch clock. Remember there were some players that were reunions in their hometown, and they'd be like, pitch violation, because they were so rigid about it, so anal about it. I loved it last night. There was no rushing. There was, hey, this is a guy that played for one team, 3,000 strikeouts.
Fourth to ever do that.
And the reality is that it may never happen again because I'm thinking of the young cats like a Skeens or Scooble, and I'm like, you think they're going to be on one team their whole career? That would be
And
unlikely.
Speaking of Skeens and some of the big dogs today,
It's going to take a lot.
it's going
To
to
get
take
to
a
3,000.
lot to get there. And that might be the last time, one of the last times that we ever see that in our lifetime, making it extra special. And there's so many layers to what we saw last night and so many things that probably ran through your brain that we're going to touch on them all throughout the day. But the first thing that I think of, aside from, man, one team, 18-plus years.
And just do the math based on how guys go, what, 5 or 6 usually now? You'd have to, I know this is simple math, but for 15 years, you'd have to average 200 strikeouts. And 200 strikeouts, not what it was in the 80s or 90s when we were growing up because, you know, guys were throwing 350 strikeouts back in the day, the Nolan Ryans of the world. But now, the league leader every year is in the 200. So you'd have to average 200 strikeouts for 15 seasons. So 3,000 strikeouts is becoming increasingly difficult.
My first question, based on history being made in that moment, was did he have to do it there, which made it even more intensified, more amazing, more exciting? Because
Are you kidding?
Dave Roberts had said that he was going to manage differently, unconventionally, because fans were there just for that moment. Just for that moment, and it was a big moment. It was a game at home. Situations were perfect. It was all lined up. But, man, Kershaw was pushing him to the limit, approaching 100 pitches. You don't want to extend the guy. He hadn't done it in years. Was he going at again? I think absolutely not. So did he have to do it in that moment? And does everybody know the name of the guy he struck out? No, because we're all wrapped up in the, man, did you see what happened to Muncy? But, man, Kershaw and Freeman, whoa. Kershaw, dude. Kershaw struck out Vinny Capra. Vinny Capra.
Gotta go.
Got him looking.
Yeah.
Which was beautiful.
For his 3,000th career strikeout in the 6th inning yesterday, the 20th pitcher in MLB history to reach 3,000 strikeouts. And, again, the 4th to do it all on one team. But question one. Did he have to do it there? Do you think he would have went out one more time, being that the whole crowd was there? He needed just one more. He got it the last out in the inning.
To prove how rare it is, by the way,
Yeah.
over the last 10 years in Major League Baseball, Chris Sale did it twice, and your boy Garrett Cole did it one time, meaning hit 300 strikeouts. So it is like what he's done is, more remarkable when you think of it that way. To answer your question, number one, I almost felt bad because the last thing I said on our show yesterday here on Fox Sports Radio, I said, yo, Danny, wouldn't it be funny if he was stuck at 2 strikeouts?
And I told you, don't you dare put that out there in the universe.
And Danny hits me up and goes, turn on the Dodgers game, you idiot. He's stuck at 2 strikeouts, and all I kept thinking was, Dave Roberts, who is a World Series champion as a player and a manager.
World Series hero with the Red Sox.
And here's a guy who gets criticized a lot for being such a big winner. He is put in such a scenario here where I'm thinking he can't pull him no matter what.
I think
crowd,
he had to after that.
50,000 people there
How far
to
do
see
you
this
extend
moment.
him? How much could you possibly extend him in that moment?
I think you had to keep going. You really
then
did.
it feels, the longer you do that, it starts feeling forced.
Yeah.
But the fans were there. I mean, I'm not a Dodgers fan, but I'm a baseball fan. I'm a fan of greatness, and everybody wants to see this happen. I had the nervous farts watching. I'm like,
Dude.
he's got to get it now or it's not happening
Dude,
tonight.
it
and
doesn't-
it ruins the moment.
It doesn't matter now.
I don't think he was going out again, Rich.
It doesn't matter now because it happened. But I was actually talking to my wife, and my mother-in-law's in town for the holiday, watching the kids. I was saying, I was describing this scenario to them. I'm like, all right, so he's at home, 50,000 people while it's happening. And I said, what if he doesn't do it? My wife's like, well, would they sit him until they were back at Dodger Stadium? And I go, I wonder if they would have. Like,
I don't think so. But
No.
hold on, think about this.
Would you have skipped a start just to get him back at the stadium?
Man, I don't think so. Do you?
You
Danny?
wouldn't think
No,
it- we're
that's
gonna-
too contrived. They wouldn't have done that.
I've
but-
never really seen it that forced before. It's very special, I agree. But imagine you're a fan and you're there on a weeknight to watch this, and you're so close, like, because you want to be part of it too. I know that's a selfish way to think. It's Kershaw's moment. But you want to be able to be that Dodger fan to say, I was there for that. But you're one strikeout away, and you weren't. So you're like, as a fan, you want it for him, you want it for you want it for the bragging right, to be part of history. It's all these things. He had to do it there, which made it even more incredible and more amazing, like that he actually pulled it off.
No offense to our friends and affiliate up in Milwaukee, but do you think his next start, which is likely, I'm looking at the schedule, in Milwaukee against the Brewers, is that where he wanted to do it? I mean, that's a great ballpark, great fan base, but he had to do it last night. I don't care if he hit 100 pitches. Dave Roberts had to call like the all-time like old school audible, like, yo, kid, you want to go out there? Keep going. You're not going to pull Clayton Kershaw stuck on 2
I think he was
strikeouts.
done. I think he was already pushing it at that point.
Yeah, he
approaching
already
100 pitches.
extended him an inning.
Yeah,
Dude.
he already overextended him.
Dude, his kid had a dad 3,000 strikeout shirt
No.
on standby.
It had to be done then, and he did it. And again, something I'll touch on later on also makes you show how difficult a strikeout is when you need one, right? Because I was like, dude, come on, because it could be a pop-up, could be a ground
Yeah.
out, it could be anything,
Yeah.
right? Or he just keeps getting hit because you could see they started making
Yeah.
contact, too, against him.
It was the
So-
first time I heard the Dodger crowd ever boo when somebody was put out from a grounder.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not the way we want the out.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But that
And
was
hold on.
wild, man.
To state the obvious, and I mean that because I really want you to think about it. Think about the difference between doing it in front of 50,000 of your hometown fans where it means so much, not only to you in the city, but to every fan there.
Yeah.
Versus doing it in Milwaukee where no one really cares. Like, they don't deserve that moment.
50,000 people wanted to be able to, from now on, say, I was there when Kershaw hit 3,000. He gave a gift to 50,000 fans. I mean, the electricity, the curtain call, waving and blowing kisses at his kids and family. Like you said, Vato tears were shed.
Vato tears were shed.
It was a great moment.
Vatos in L.A. only have 96 teardrops.
I heard that.
And they wasted a bunch of them last night.
Yo,
man.
is it safe to say...
That's my guy.
That's my guy. Is it safe to say that baseball really handled it perfectly? Let me go back to that because I am okay with, hey, guy hits 50,000 yards in the NFL. They stop the game. I don't know. Peyton Manning gets to hold up the ball and do. I'm okay with those moments. I'm okay with the Ricky, rest in peace, steals his base. They take a moment so he can hold up the bag. I don't think any player is objecting to that, right? You think there's anyone you think there's anyone that's like, let's move this along?
That's what the game's about. These are special moments. These are milestones. These aren't things you see every day. So, yeah, they did the right thing by letting it breathe. Let the fans enjoy it. That's why they go to the games. And you've watched this guy's whole career pan out from when he was a young man to an older man, as a single guy to a married guy with kids, as a young, spry, handsome-looking dude to like a guy who's sort of hobbling out there trying to throw
a
like an old 37-year-old.
A feared young Cy Young Award winner to a, like, you're right, a hobbling, crafty veteran who is now, kept the zero in the L column thanks to Freddie.
Yeah, save that.
Who made that a perfect night for the Dodgers fans, right?
Perfect night. It's kind of gross that the Dodgers had such a perfect night.
Which is why it's going to be perfect when the Mets beat them in 7 in the playoffs this year.
We'll see about that. So we'll take your observations at 877-99 on Fox. And again, there's several layers to the story. We're going to touch on it throughout the show, throughout the day. COVINO and Rich and for Dan Patrick. But Danny G, any other final observations you want to touch on? Like, what were you doing in that moment? Did you shed a Vato tear? Maybe these are all questions that need to be answered.
I mean, Clayton has been one of the favorite players of Dodger fans for years now. So, and of course, to see him come back from a couple of big-time injuries and still be with the team. And I think it's Rich who, every time the Dodgers give him a one-year contract, Rich is like, or maybe you, Cove, that's the best deal in baseball.
Yeah, because he got the hometown discount. Yeah. He stayed, and I thought it was always the best move. Honestly, it was beautiful.
You mentioned what a moment for everybody in attendance. How about all the families and Dodger fans across the country? And I'm sorry if you're a Dodger hater, I get that too. But because, Cove, I'm about to bring up a bad memory for you. The World Series against your Yankees, that was the last time my family was all gathered together in the living room watching a Dodgers game so closely. Last night, the whole family just glued to every moment of that game on the TV, and it was emotional. As, lifelong Dodger fans, you don't get moments like that too often.
And you got to step out of the seat, right? Like, you're standing up, I would imagine, at some point.
You're pacing. Yeah.
I stood up just hearing the replay just now. So amazing.
I thought the inning before when he struck out the last batter also was pretty, like you saw. When he was walking off the mound and everyone's going nuts.
And then we haven't even really touched on, I know it was against the White Sox, I know. Yeah. But we haven't touched on the fact that Freddie Freeman waits to rope one there for the walk-off. So what a night. And it has just been a beautiful season so far for the Dodgers.
How do you think the Capra family feels today? Hey, Vinny, you had to be the guy. Way to disrespect the family name.
You and I have joked about this, that, listen.
Again, Vinny Capra is the guy that struck out.
There's dumb misconceptions in sports. Like we're saying how he wanted to do it at home. You know how we say sometimes, does a team want to lose on the road so they could clinch at home? No one wants to lose, and I get it. In sports, you want to get the win when you can. But we see it in sports all the time. When you win a championship on the road, it's just not the same. And if he would have done that on the road, it wouldn't have been the same, right?
It would have been a waste.
I think what made me emotional was watching his kids react to it. Because now that I'm a new dad, for the first time, I have a little one of my own, and I hope that someday he gets to watch, me helping your show blow up and do big things. Seeing your dad accomplish something like that. That is so cool.
Danny G, did you pick up your overly sized little boy and point at the TV and like hold him and like see
he was too busy running around with not one but two wiffle ball bats, and he was hitting all of us in our kneecaps with the baseball bats. That's what he was doing.
the real life Bam Bam running around in his diaper.
I did notice one thing that I was like, oh, that's what you went with, huh, kid? One of his kids was wearing that weak-ass City Connect jersey you guys have.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember being like, okay.
I thought that was cool.
Okay.
Hey, kids will wear whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, your observations, we'll go through all of it, get you involved. It's what we do, the most inclusive show on radio, Covino and Rich, in for the great Dan Patrick. It's always a pleasure to be here. And it's an extended Dan Patrick hat trick, meaning we're on today. We're off tomorrow for the holiday.
Yeah, you got to eat some hot dogs.
Yeah, I got hot dogs to eat. Me and Joey Chestnut. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we'll also be here. So day one of our extended hat trick.
Hey, so your thoughts on Clayton Kershaw, 877-99 on Fox. And we're going to talk some NFL coming up. There's a story about Travis Kelce and an anniversary of one of the greatest movies of all time. We're going to talk some old school 4th of July blockbusters coming up right here. Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready?
Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Fox Sports Radio.
Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game.
Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank
I
you.
love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Jim. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time. You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong.
For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape.
With the biggest talent and the best programming available.
We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special.
Yes.
Who wants that?
bigger,
bolder,
better.
We are Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah. Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready?
Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game.
Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank
I
you.
love you. You're very talented. You're the best. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Jim. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
Unbelievable.
Yes!
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time. You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong.
For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape.
With the biggest talent and the best programming available.
We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special.
Yes. Who wants that?
bigger,
Bolder.
better.
We are Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah! Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready?
Yes!
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it. Fox Sports Radio.
Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game.
Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
The passion and emotional, the visceral connection is so much greater in radio than anything else available today.
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank
I
you.
love you. You're very talented. You're the best. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Jim. You sound like Joe Pesci.
All right, Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick. Day one of our segmented extended hat trick because we're on again Monday and Tuesday. Holiday weekend is here. Got to be pumped about that. Happy Tres de Julio, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. And the hottest rookies, biggest superstars, and all-time greats. The only place to collect them all is Panini Trading Cards, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show.
Who do you think the hottest rookie is? For instant classics, autograph cards, memorabilia cards, rare inserts, and more, start or continue your collection now at PaniniAmerica.net. And I got a little 5-year-old son, and I'm telling you, baseball cards are back in such a big way.
Baseball's back in
such a big way, but I coach a bunch of little kids, and sometimes I'll drop them a pack of cards, and they have the excitement you did in 1987 with your wood border tops.
Ooh,
remember those?
yeah.
Those? I think was that the most popular baseball card of our childhood?
The 87 one, yeah.
The
probably.
87 tops with the wood,
Yeah.
like your grandma's basement.
I'm trying to think of the hottest one of that year.
Ooh.
Because the hottest
Barry
card
Bonds?
of our childhood was the 86 Conseco rated rookie, Don Russ.
I
would say.
have an Ozzie Smith of that wood bordered year, and
Yeah.
it's autographed.
I
nice.
remember as a little kid being like, wait, Ozzie Smith was on the Padres? Well, for like a quick minute, and he had an afro in his rookie card. I believe he shares with someone else.
Oof, I'd have to look it up. I know I have his rookie. So, check it out. Last night was a magical night.
Yeah.
Really beautiful night. As lame as that sounds, it was. It was amazing.
Beautiful.
Because situations were set up perfectly, and it actually happened the way you would see in a movie. It was a movie script laid out perfectly. And even for me, Danny G, there was no Love Island to watch last night, so I had plenty of time to tune in. I'm not a Dodgers fan. I'm a Yankees guy, but I was like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
I get to watch history, but, dude, he's got to do it right now, and it happened, and there's so many layers to the moment, and we're going to, again, unfold them together throughout the day, but right now, the number, 877-99 on Fox, everything at Covino and Rich. Remember to follow our podcast, follow, rate, and review, 5 stars only, because anything less is uncivilized. Just search Covino and Rich. We got to talk to your boy.
My boy?
Your boy, Travis Kelce. Bro.
I do want to talk about Kelce, but I will say it didn't feel forced because, I mean.
it was starting to.
But listen.
Because I'm like, you got to pull this guy.
A strikeout is something you need to accomplish. Like, no batter is going to just be like, all right, I'll strike out. They're too competitive. No one wants to be Clayton Kershaw's strikeout number 3,000.
It's not Vinny Capra wanted to be that guy?
It's not like the NFL Week 18 where some guy needs 42 yards to hit a big bonus, so they forcibly dump a couple passes to him. That's not it. He needed to earn this, and it started to get a little nerve-wracking. Dodger fans were breaking out their Pepto. They had those stomach aches because for a minute, you're like, oh, is Dave Roberts going to have to pull this guy with 2 strikeouts?
You know what I
Holy
started
crap.
doing? Does everybody do this? Is this a sports, like an unspoken sports thing? When nerves are so high, you just start wiping down the counter, pacing, sweeping the floor.
Yes.
You're just doing everything but watching because you're so nervous about it. But you got one eye, your peripherals on the screen, but the other eye's on you're cleaning up or something because the nerves are so high.
Dude, our cribs are spotless after NFL Sundays.
Yo, what is that?
Cavito's girlfriend's like, why do you got the wood cleaner out? What's going on?
I'm like, I can't watch. He's got to do it right now. Yeah, man, I started, you start getting up and pacing around and straightening it up because your anxiety's at next level. And again, I'm not a Dodgers fan or a Clayton Kershaw guy. It's greatness. We've seen his whole career. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But now Kelce. We'll come back to Kershaw.
Yeah, Travis Kelce. Hey, listen, the guy, I was going to say, he's in the news. He's always in the news. He's dating Taylor Swift. He was wearing black shirt shoes the other day with white socks, and everyone's like, fashionable. And I'm like, that look is never good. But why? Because he's Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift?
What was it again? Church shoes with white socks? Was he Michael Jackson?
He was wearing black leather, loafer-looking shoes like he was Michael Jackson with white socks. And it's like, look at the style.
Is he
I'm
a
like,
pilgrim?
Style.
What is that?
He talked the other day about how he can't relieve himself on the golf course anymore because paparazzi's everywhere. He has to actually
no way.
use a restroom.
I know. That is one of the downsides of being super popular. You can't do those little things.
Now, he recently said, when asked, what's the worst thing he's ever done? And I saw the headline, and I got caught.
How about not blocking the Super Bowl? That was kind of weak.
Worst thing.
I say that respectfully. I like Kelce. He's a good dude.
I was like, worst thing. I'm waiting for some raunchy stuff well, there was this one time in Vegas with hookers. I'm like, worst thing. Oh, he said the worst thing he ever did was that show Chasing Kelce. And funny enough, back in the day, Covino and I, that was the first time we met Travis Kelce. He came on our then SiriusXM show to promote his dating show. A young Travis Kelce, if you forget, had a show where 25-something women were vying for his love.
What network was that on? I'm trying to remember. It was a Bravo at the time, or I don't remember.
It was VH1.
True
Was
TV
it?
or something.
I thought it was VH1 for some reason.
I do
It might have
remember
been.
meeting him, though, and I'll tell you my first impression. You knew Travis Kelce was a football player, but I do remember thinking, what a stud. The guy was giant. In real life, he's giant.
Even before him being the New Heights podcast megastar and Mr. Taylor Swift, before that, you're right. There was a sense of yeah, he's a cool, good-looking young player. I could see why he's popular.
It was produced by E.
Oh, okay.
So Catching Kelce.
I think it was E and maybe Style Network or something affiliated.
You were confusing it, Danny, with your other favorite dating show, Flavor of Love.
But yeah, he was part of that whole world of dating shows. And was it this past Super Bowl or the year before? It was the year before. We interviewed Ed Kelce, his dad. And even Ed said that he tried to talk his son out of that. And
I was so stupid.
He said
he said it was so dumb.
So dumb, and he hated it. So even his dad spoke to us about it at the Super Bowl, saying that it was an embarrassing moment for him and the family. He hated the show.
And truthfully, here's the funny part. Travis Kelce is such a star at this point that you heard Covino correctly. We interviewed his dad at the Super Bowl, and it's one of our most viewed YouTube videos. Immediately had millions of views.
You know why, though, Rich?
Just because it was tied to Kelce, who's like the hottest guy in the world right now of the last year.
It was a Super Bowl that everyone was talking to Donna about. Remember, everyone was talking to Donna Kelce, who, by the way, isn't she like casted on some reality show now? Or it's like she's on a major show. They just casted Donna Kelce on like Dancing with the Stars or something.
Golden Bachelor?
No, look it up. Hold on, they just casted her because everyone wants a piece of the Kelce hype.
No, it's
but
like
everyone
a Food
was
Network
talking
show.
to.
She has a food show, I believe.
Everyone was so caught up in the hype. They wanted to talk to Donna. How does it feel to be the mom of Travis and Jason, blah, blah, blah?
Jason's wife is a podcaster now,
Right.
so everyone in that whole circle's huge.
So we were offered Ed, and we're like, we'll talk to Ed. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he was, but he did tell us the same thing. So when Travis says it's the worst thing he's ever done, it seems to be no secret within the family, within the Kelce family, that it was an embarrassing moment. But you know what? Not a bad embarrassing moment to have. Oh, man, you were on a dating show because you're such a hot commodity? Man, tell me more. Like, that's kind of a good thing to look back on. People have a lot worse in their life.
If that's your worst moment,
Exactly.
then you're doing all right. But let me ask you, personally, we'd love to hear your stories, or if you could think of your favorite athlete or your favorite celebrity that you could clearly point out, yo, that's their worst moment. Like, yo, I love this actor, but this is the worst movie they ever did. Or, yo, I'm a huge fan of this band. That album was trash. Like, what is the worst stuff done by someone of greatness?
Well, I'll give you an example. Like, Metallica's getting ready for a big weekend, 4th of July weekend. They're going to be in Birmingham performing for Black Sabbath's final show.
Wow.
Yeah,
big deal for the rock fans.
Big reunion of Black Sabbath. They haven't performed in over 20 years together. And it's in Ozzy's hometown of Birmingham. And so many rock bands are going to be there to perform and pay tribute. And Metallica's going to be out there. So many people hated, like, Garage Inc. Like, dude, that's their worst album, or anything after Kill 'Em All. Like, you know, people have those opinions about. Look, you have to be great to begin with to even be in that conversation, right? You had to have greatness to have a stinker. So what was it? And by the way, Donna Kelce is casted on The Traitors season 4 on Peacock.
Isn't it like a villain show?
The Traitors.
Donna Kelce's a villain?
She's on it now. So, again, everyone wants a piece of the action because everything Travis does or the Kelces do turns to gold. Now, what's the worst thing they've done? I gave you Metallica, Garage. That's just my example, the Garage Inc. I think, personally, we all have our stories, and they're far worse than, look, man, I was on a dating show, and all these hot chicks wanted me. But it was real embarrassing.
That's funny.
I mean, that's a bragging right for anybody else.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I could think of legends that have done lame-ass stuff, but as far as our show, Covino and Rich, we've had some swings and misses, but you know what stands out to me because it was so bad, it was funny?
Oh, please tell me.
I was trying to think of some of our worst career moments.
Oh, boy.
There was one time where, and sometimes it's a matter of just not saying no when you should. They're like, hey, do you guys, we're doing a TV show in New York on SNY, the Mets network. And they're like, hey, do you guys want to do a whole thing where you cover a dog show? And we were like, I don't
Maybe
think
we were
so.
too, like, ambitious and confident
And-
that, yeah, we could make this cool.
And I remember them doing like, yeah, you guys send someone out and we could do a piece on you guys, like the dog show, the Westminster dog show. And I was like, we didn't make it funny. And I remember being, the whole time this little segment aired, I remember being like, are we really covering a dog show right now?
That was a good one.
And I'm just thinking, like, there are moments where you interviewed some, weak-ass person. And we'll take your feedback. Think about your favorite artists.
And by the way, speaking
Your
of,
favorite
I
athlete.
said I said Garage Inc. I meant Saint Anger by Metallica, or some people say Death Magnetic, but Saint Anger is what I meant before as far as their stinker. And that's all debatable.
Yeah.
But let's get to some of your examples. I have an example of my own life that I think most people would say, but I'm not sure if that's the answer.
All right, your weakest moment, and hey, call out one of your favorite athletes, musicians, actors. I'll give you one, and then we'll take your feedback. I mean, wouldn't you agree that for many generations, Al Pacino's like a badass actor? Hooah! Al Pacino. Al Pacino was in
You think you're big time? I'll show you big time.
Al Pacino was in an Adam Sandler movie called Jack and Jill,
Which is the worst movie
ever. Where he's singing a song called Dunkachinos. Dunkachinos. And
Don't mind if I do.
it can't be a moment he loves.
By the way, I think we watched that movie.
She's got a great.
I think we watched it with the wrong sort of mindset. I think it's meant for 4-year-olds, that movie, Jack and
might
Jill.
be.
You
know what? We'll take your feedback next right here. COVINO Rich in for the great Dan Patrick. Now, like you said before, I'm pumped. I know you're pumped. Filling in for Dan Patrick, not only today, All-Star Week, we are going to be filling in for Dan Patrick, doing our show live from Atlanta, MLB All-Star Game, the ultimate hotspot, and you can be part of the excitement at Capital One's All-Star Village.
Saturday, July 12th through Tuesday, July 15th. Head to the Cobb Gallery for baseball fun, live entertainment, and interactive games. And you could say hi to us, broadcasting live.
Let's do it.
Tickets today at allstargame.com.
It's COVINO and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio.
When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there, and I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, COVINO thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, COVINO, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
COVINO and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best. You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
we're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during
can't.
a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak. All right, Covino Rich in for Dan Patrick. The 3rd of July.
Live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Remember, after the show, the DP podcast and our stream goes up. So if you miss any of today's show, be sure to listen to the podcast. Search Covino and Rich, Covino. COVID usually comes up first, but power through that miserable memory.
Get to the N in Covino and you're all set.
Covino and Rich, wherever you get your podcast. And Saturday morning, Danny G has our best of the week dropping.
Nice.
So be sure to follow, rate, and review the podcast. Rate it 5 stars. We appreciate that. And speaking of podcasts, Rich, because we're doing the show earlier today, we have our own Patreon that we're going to do after this. After that, we're going to do Overpromise today. So it's a busy-ass day heading into the holiday weekend.
I thought I was starting my holiday weekend early.
No. Overpromise is our bonus pod because Blabbermouth here, Dickie Davis.
Yeah, that's me.
He overpromises things we never get to, so we do it on Overpromised. Episode 99 debuts today, 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. on the West, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
The number now, 877-99 on Fox, talking about the worst moments of your life because Travis Kelce.
Well, that sounds very sad, though. Meaning, like the worst thing you did in a funny way, like the worst moment of your life. When my grandma died, like
missteps.
Yeah,
missteps.
Your missteps.
I mean, but Travis Kelce's is laughable when you think about it because he says the worst thing he ever did, I guess professionally, is the dating show he was on, Chasing Kelce.
Embarrassing.
Probably because it goes against him, even though he's like the playboy type. He's also like the all shucks humble guy. He's the every guy.
Now his whole brand and persona is that he's like not only like the cool tight end and the Super Bowl champion. He has to appease all these Swifties. So do you think he wants footage out there where he's probably a playboy on the show, like, yo, ladies, he probably is embarrassed by it, right?
I would say it's embarrassing. So we'll go to your phone calls now. Think about the worst missteps in people's careers. Let's try to keep it light, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, these are all silly. Like my example was Al Pacino, who is a legend. Hooah! Al Pacino was in the movie Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler and did this bit, if you remember.
Dunkachino.
Oh, boy.
Dunkachino.
Dunkin'. The fact that Al Pacino did a Dunkachino song in a Sandler movie, I don't think that's his moment.
And by the way, that movie's so bad that I watched it at Rich's house with him, and it was when he first started dating his wife.
Yeah.
And it was so bad that they fell asleep at their place, and I'm sitting there like, I got to watch the rest of this? What do I do now?
And by the way, let it be known, I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited about Happy Gilmore,
He might
too.
be listening right now. There goes our chances of being in a movie ever. He's a big Dan Patrick guy.
Yeah, Dan Patrick's going to be in his movies. Not you.
These guys talking smackaroo about the Sandman.
Oh, look at Covino talking about Jack and Jill.
Oh, that's one of my best movies ever. So it's known that it's one of Al Pacino's biggest missteps.
Yeah,
so
but
based
I
on the
mean-
Kelsey thing, name some others.
I mean, way cooler than anything we've done. I haven't done a Dunkachino commercial.
I would do it.
We'll take your feedback on that, and of course, we'll talk a bunch of NFL, and we'll go some old school blockbuster movies also on the agenda today. So, you name it, we'll get to it. All coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
That's on me. Apparently, this clock is off.
Well, hold on. Now we're not going to break.
You got like 30 seconds to kill.
Oh, we were told you have 30 extra seconds here.
Oh, sweet. 30
Bonus
extra seconds?
That's
What's
awesome.
my name?
You just play Dunkachino.
Oh, well, all right. Well, hey, coming up, it gives me a chance to tell you what we got coming up. We are going to talk, like I said, about old school blockbuster movies. What are those movies that came out around the 4th of July? I'm going to name some. I want to see if we all agree on which ones are the best.
Well, you got Jurassic World Rebirth this weekend, so
I don't think that'll be in your top 3.
it's not going to be my top 3, but it's going to make an impact this weekend for sure.
Plus, your boy Aaron Judge, I think, is doing something pretty cool in the world of endorsements. I think it's going to bring something back to the Little League pony ball scene. So we'll get to all that coming up. COVINO Rich in for the great Dan Patrick.
Yeah,
right
got
here.
it.
Yes.